We almost forgot the tent today on our camping.
You're not sure you'll go around?
I'm gonna overshoot.
Let's try that again.
Like, holy shit.
Where'd we get this food from?
It's called Good Friends that we just met because we forgot our food.
When we landed at the airstrip, there were several people there, including Bruno, the airstrip manager, a family of 3 who had tented there the night before, and a couple from Innisfail who were out for the afternoon. While we were visiting and unloading our gear, we discovered that we had forgotten the backpack that was carefully planned and neatly packed with all of our food. The couple from Innisfail graciously offered us a package of fried chicken they had with them, along with some muffins, a bottle of wine, and a cooler with some fruit and snacks. Bruno had a can of beans with him, which he donated to the cause, and just like that, we were set. We visited a while and had some great aviation conversation and learned about some other fly-in airstrips to camp at in the area. After a couple hours, it was time for everyone to leave. Instead of setting up camp right away, we unloaded our gear into the storage shed and set out on a scenic mountain flight. So our plan is to take off from the forestry strip and circle around. And we're going to try and follow the Panther River and go down this valley. And then there's a little nook between these 2 peaks here. And then we're going to follow this valley all the way down, which kind of ends up at Banff. We're going to take a little circle around the Banff area, and then we're going to follow Lake Minnewanka all the way down till we fly ourselves out of the mountains. Then we're going to head back up past the foothills and land back at the forestry airstrip again. The total distance we'll cover is about 150 kilometers or about 90 miles. And it'll be about a 40-minute flight. So we can see here, we took off the forestry strip, we circled around. This is actually an actual representation of our track, including our altitude on Google Earth. And as you can see, when I first came out, I started aiming for the wrong valley. I started aiming in this direction, and I started aiming for that valley that you see on this side of Dormer Mountain. Noticing that I wasn't on course, I realized I was aiming at the wrong point. So I deviated to the right, and I thought it must be down this big looking valley here. Checking my GPS again, I realized I had corrected too far the other way and turned back to the left and went down this kind of a valley, I guess. And we get over to the Vermilion Valley, and this valley here runs all the way down to Banff. So as you can see, we just rode close to the peaks here, all the way down. That's the beginning of Lake Minnewanka. And we just took a little circle, had a look at the town of Banff. And headed down the lake. Till we exited the mountains, or the tall ones anyway. Then we headed up along the foothills, and we ended up back at the forestry strip, right where we started.
Alright, here we go. Okay, ground effect. And we got our speed. A little more speed. There we go. Need a little more altitude before I make my turn.
At this point, the batteries die in my interior GoPros, so I no longer have any cockpit audio for the rest of this flight. Sit back and enjoy the amazing scenery, and I'll try and do a little narration along the way to describe what we're seeing. The tall mountain ahead is Dormer Mountain, and it stands almost 9,000 feet at the peak. The valley we're flying into now takes us all the way down to Banff. The tall peak you see in the distance is called Zombie Peak. To the left of our plane, we're going to be flying down the Bear Range, and to the right of our plane is the Vermilion Range. In about 30 seconds, the last exterior camera on the airplane will run out of power. And for the rest of the flight, Valerie has a cell phone in one hand and a GoPro in the other, and she is shooting as much video as possible. Turbulence is always a thing in the mountains, so it may be a little shakier. Even 4K video really does not come close to capturing the breathtaking scenery that we are experiencing here. The town just below us here is Banff. The lake we are above is called Lake Minnewanka, Water of the Spirits in Nakota. It's a glacial lake located about 5 kilometers or 3 miles northeast of the Banff town site. The lake is 21 kilometers or 13 miles long and is 466 feet deep. The lake is fed by the Cascade River, as well as numerous streams flowing down from the mountains on the south side of the lake. It is believed that Aboriginal people long inhabited areas around Lake Minnewanka as early as 10,000 years ago. The area is rich in animal life like elk, mule deer, mountain sheep, and bears, and the easy availability of rock in the mountainous terrain was key to fashioning weapons for hunting. The western end of the lake can be reached by following Lake Minnewanka Road from the Trans-Canada Highway. Boat tours are available near the parking lot. A hiking and mountain biking trail runs along the northern shore of the lake, passing Stewart Canyon and 6 backcountry campsites. Dams were built in 1912 and 1941 to supply the town with hydroelectric power. The most recent dam, built in 1941, raised the lake 98 feet and submerged the resort village of Minnewanka Landing that had been there since 1888. Because of the presence of the submerged village, submerged bridge pilings, and the submerged dam from 1912, the lake is popular among recreational scuba divers. Here we are arriving back at the forestry airstrip to set up camp and settle in for the evening. We'll build a fire, set up the tent, go for a walk down by the river, eat some donated food, have a glass of wine, play some crib, and get a great night's sleep in the mountain fresh air. It's been an amazing day of flying and meeting new friends. It was Valerie's first time flying directly into the mountains, and only my second. Join us next week when we take another amazing flight, this time to Jasper, Alberta, a small town deep in the Canadian Rockies. We fly across the amazing Lake Abraham and up the Icefields Parkway past the largest glacier on the continent and land at another grass airstrip. From there we fly into Hinton Entrance Airport and camp out with the Wetaskiwin Flying Club, who were incredibly kind and welcoming to us. I'm really happy we were able to share today's adventure with you. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you next week.